It is in the afternoon on Sunday, October 26, 2025. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. Thank you for being part of this weather community. I'm going to put out more and more updates even into tonight. If you subscribe, you'll be the first to get those updates. You'll know exactly when I put out updates on this. So thank you for being part of this weather community. Right now, again, watching this, a powerful hurricane. This is Melissa. It is a major hurricane. It is going to move right into Jamaica. There's nothing that's going to change it at this point. With that, we're getting into our safe locations. The weather has been worsening eastern end, some spots, not a whole lot, and grateful that we have a little more time in a few spots to prepare. With that, winds right now are at 140 miles per hour or 220 kilometers an hour. It is sitting almost due south, just about due south of Kingston, 180 kilometers south or 110 miles to the south of Kingston, Jamaica. It is moving slowly. It is moving to the west. It is on track west at about 7 kilometers an hour or 5 miles per hour. The pressure, 946. That is a number to watch. If you know nothing about the pressure, the lower it goes, the worse it is. 946 now. So when I join you again later on, we'll see where it stands. If there is a drop in that of course is a major concern. You can see the core of this. All of Jamaica, west, central, and east will experience hurricane force winds. All of Jamaica. It is going to move right in with a landfall very late Monday night. Looks like early on Tuesday. I want to show you that. I'm going to zoom down in this video with new maps and the winds, and then I want to take you out and show the winds as well. What happens next as we get into eastern Cuba, parts of the Bahamas, and over the Turks and Caicos. But now is the last chance in Jamaica to get into your safe spot. For many, for most, it is most likely your home, and you may be taking in some others. Now, if you're going through this alone, know that this community is with you. We will lose touch. That's why I appreciate you sharing these videos right now. Cell service has been going down. It's been spotty in spots. So again, getting this information out right now so others can see it. Thank you for sharing the link to this because we are going to start to lose touch. If you're alone, again, this weather community is with you. You are not alone. Thinking of the kids, as this moves in, there's going to be very dangerous sounds, especially at night. So kids, just think about everything that mom and dad, your loved ones have been doing to prepare you for this. And again, for everyone, it gets very scary, especially by tomorrow night with the sounds we're going to see. But thank you for helping each other with this and through this as we continue to watch this together. Here's kind of a different look at the radar. And you can see the eye. I know this is kind of a little grainy looking. The resolution's not as good. You could tell that I'm using everything I have behind the scenes. I have multiple resources, talking to folks on the ground from Haiti back toward Jamaica. Here's the eye of this. Most likely, this radar will eventually go down. I hope we can see it to get a good fix on it. But again, aircraft, the National Hurricane Center out of the United States is doing a very good job. The men and women getting into this, getting the readings, and you can see it here. It will continue to move west. And then it is going to be lifting to the north, and with that, it is going to bring the destructive winds across Jamaica. So here's the path. There's no route more to the east. There's no route more to the west. At this point, we're just kind of watching where it will eventually come on shore tomorrow night and into Tuesday. But all of Jamaica will get the hurricane winds, especially tomorrow night, and then into Tuesday, a long haul as we shelter in place together. We're going to be kind of where we need to be. We need to be where we need to be for this storm right now. We're going to be there for quite a while. I got you covered. I trust your judgment. Thank you for all you have done. I've been seeing it in the comments, just getting the word out. Then by Tuesday night, this will be working its way into eastern Cuba, and then by Wednesday morning and later in the day, Wednesday, parts of the Bahamas and back through parts of the Turks and Caicos. And I'll highlight that. I'll highlight the winds in that as we go forward. Now, we take a look at this. Again, this will be a major hurricane at landfall, Category 3 to Category 5. Either way, most likely a Category 4 or 5. The damage in that, it's pretty much the same. These storms kind of breathe. There's fluctuations. In big storms, there's actually eye wall replacements. You'll have the eye, then it's so strong it kind of collapses and kind of actually temporarily falls apart as a new eye forms. So there's going to be fluctuations. As it collapses, it weakens just a little bit. We're talking about like 10 miles per hour. And then a new eye kind of forms. The outer eye wall comes in and becomes the main eye wall. Maybe a little bit confusing, but I wanted to let you know that there will be some fluctuations in the strength. But either way, the major hurricane is coming. And it looks like major hurricane impacts for the southeastern coast of Cuba as well, and then maintaining hurricane strength. Now, here's the zoom down look at the winds for us. Miles per hour and kilometers on your screen. This is based on the American model, which is now doing exactly what all the models are doing. So this is basically all of the models. This is by the time we get into tomorrow morning, and you see here some of the reds getting into us. Those are the winds of about 70 miles per hour. The core of it to the south, again, moving to the west, right? This is a bad scenario because it just pushes all of the rain on top of us. We're going to constantly see the rain as we work our way through tomorrow. And then by tomorrow night, late in the day, conditions just get worse. Hurricane conditions move in. Here's the center of this. In this, winds at least of about 140 miles per hour. Those are higher gusts, and this really gives you a feel. You could put a pause on this. I mentioned no one's escaping the hurricane winds. The core of it right here, the winds are going to expand out again very far as the hurricane force winds in this. And then tomorrow night and early on Tuesday, making landfall, maybe around 4 or 5 in the morning, and then pushing in near Treasure Beach. That's the center, but the center is not the whole thing with this. Again, it is a large system moving across. Then by Tuesday, you can see again the center of this by midday Tuesday lifting up just to the north of St. Anne's. That's the center. Still the hurricane force winds though. Montego Bay, Falmouth, watching that all the way off toward the east as this will eventually lift away, and still strong winds kind of coming in on the south side even midday as we get into our southern sections, Milk River back toward Kingston, for example. We're going to see those strong winds that are still with us, and then eventually this will move out. So thankfully, I love the platform of YouTube where you could go back, kind of pause that to get a feel. If anyone thinks this is not coming, show them this. This is exactly what, as a whole, we're going to see. Now, the eye may be near Black River. Maybe it'll be a little bit more toward Kingston. At this point, the destructive winds are going to be pushing in either way. So we're just kind of splitting hairs at this point, an old expression, just kind of seeing exactly where this comes on shore. So tonight, as we look at the winds, again, northern sections not too bad. They just start to get gusty. If you get some bands of rain, that's where we have the wind gust. It'll be howling tonight in our southern sections, starting to pick up. We may see some winds as high as 80 miles per hour. But remember, it's not just shooting in right now. What we're going to see is it shooting off to the west, which what we've been talking about for days and days is kind of a worst case scenario because it can maintain its strength or get stronger over water before it shoots in. And plus with that westerly track, that just continues to work in the rain, which I'll show you these rain totals. So this is what we're looking at for tonight. Some of us not a whole lot, others dealing with at least some tropical storm conditions. Then tomorrow through the day, conditions go downhill, especially by tomorrow afternoon. We'll see this starting to lift in very close. It may be over here, maybe the center will be over here, maybe it'll be a little bit slower over here, but there's no escape route with this. It is going to be lifting in. So 100 to 150 mile per hour winds deeper into the day, especially by sunset as this works in. Again, it's going to be a long haul. Even tomorrow, many of us tomorrow, the winds will pick up. We know that, right? The rain's going to pick up. We'll have the flooding, but many of us tomorrow are just going to kind of be waiting like it's not too bad. It's not too bad yet. It's not too bad. Then tomorrow night, that's when this really will lift in, right? The long duration that I've been talking about. I've really been doing my best just to get out the proper information about this. And thank you for doing your part as well. Tomorrow night into early Tuesday, making landfall anywhere from about 4 in the morning to maybe 7, 8 in the morning. Again, could be over here, the center, could be over here, but the map I showed you before, those winds extend way out. So we're looking at winds of about 120 miles per hour near Black River and off toward the west, Montego Bay. Hurricane conditions, winds around 100. Now, if this is a little bit more to the west, Montego Bay, I may up these winds, right? This map, I just tweak a little bit. I'll make some changes best I can to fine tune this, but this is give or take 10, maybe 20 miles per hour, which is a big difference, but give or take that, this is the information. That's why I want you to share this information now before a lot of us start to lose power. A lot of folks start to lose power, cell service, that sort of thing as we go forward. And by the way, I'm out of Jamaica, so that because it's my responsibility to get the information out best I can, and even down the road for Cuba and the Bahamas. I will try to get on the ground as soon as possible. In Jamaica, a lot of folks have been mentioning donations, that sort of thing. As we go forward, I will put up some links on that. I'm working with several teams actually in the Bahamas, in Cuba, and in Haiti, and I'm working on what we can do for Jamaica because there's going to be a lot of stuff out there. You know, sometimes there's bad places to donate to. We know about that. So I'll try to get that information. I'm just so focused on what's happening now before this comes in to try to help keep people safe best we can with this weather community. So this gives us a feel. Again, Monday night, Tuesday morning. Again, I mentioned to the kids, some distractions would be great. And let them know that I said, again, it is going to be scary at night, but remind them of all of the stuff we have been doing together, right? To try to stay safe as we go through this. This is why we do what we have been doing. Now, the core of this, I've shifted this just a little bit. Where the eye wall is, and I know it's scary stuff to pass along, there is going to be destruction, some weaker structures. There will be severe damage to the structures. We will see this. We saw this with Beryl as it rolled through St. Vincent and the Grenadines last year. It's going to be more like that. We did have Beryl impacting us in Jamaica, but it's going to be more of a scenario. Looks like a little bit more like Beryl, what happened in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We're thinking just every storm is different, right? Every storm, once it's done, you're like, hey, that one brought this one brought that was different this way. Every storm kind of has its characteristic. This may be a little bit more like a Maria, what happened back in Puerto Rico. Again, this is not coming to Puerto Rico, but just to give you an idea of the strength of this, right? We're talking Gilbert, the storm back in 1951 in Jamaica, and it's going to be very similar, if not worse than that in some locations, just to give you the perspective so we can mentally prepare for this, right? We really need to mentally, you've done the preparation, we need to mentally prepare for the long haul. We're going to have power loss for weeks. I lost touch with one of our teams on the ground in Haiti. I was finally able to hear from them. I've got a great guy on the ground from Jacmel. He's been checking on the parishes in the southern coast of Haiti. He said the winds are getting stronger, so just trying to get in touch with everyone, but we may lose touch, could have power loss for weeks, if not longer. It could be months where this comes on shore. That means some isolation of communities, especially with the mudslides. But in this sector here, we could have gusts. I hope not. I hope the gusts are much less than this, but the gust could be as high as 180. If this is a Category 5, that would lend itself to gust of 180. If it's Category 4, the gust would be more like 160 in the eye wall, okay? So this would be the high end. Always keeping it in perspective. I do this channel for safety. It is a no-hype channel, keeping it in perspective, but these numbers are crazy high as a whole. We need to be safe best we can. We all have different means, but do what you need to do to stay safe through this. Then we look down the road, and I'll show you the progression of this in just a moment with the modeling. As we get into very far eastern Cuba, winds will be around 110 kilometers an hour or 177 as it passes. Fortunately, it'll be passing a little bit quicker. Try to find some good news in this. Extreme southern Bahamas, right around Crooked Island and south, winds could be near 100 miles per hour or 160 kilometers an hour. In the Turks and Caicos, as it stands now, it's going to be close to hurricane conditions. I think we're looking at more in the way of tropical storm conditions. I'll adjust this as we go forward. 60 mile per hour winds or upwards of about 100 kilometers for those winds. Now back to the rain. Again, the winds have picked up in Haiti. Those are the reports I've been getting from Jacmel back toward the west. Still, we could get some totals upwards. You see this red right in here. Additional rain, 300 to 400 millimeters of rain. That's on top of what we've already had in the peninsula of Haiti. We swing back toward Jamaica. Again, eastern end, that's where we're going to have some rain totals that will be historic levels. I do not throw that word around lightly. This is going to be one of the worst storms for Jamaica. Some of the rain totals could be record-breaking along with the winds. So it is a historic storm for Jamaica. That's just what it is. So that's what we're looking at for some of the rains. Closer look, and you can see here, really anywhere in this green shading, there's going to be isolated spots. Not all of us, but isolated spots that get up to 750 millimeters of rain or 30 inches of rain. Most will be running at about anywhere from 400 to 500 millimeters of rain. So in that case, we're looking at upwards of 20 inches of rain. Could be a little bit west, a little bit less to the west, but we've seen more of a shift, which has been bad news, of a track kind of taking this, the center, closer to Treasure Beach. That would give all of us, again, those hurricane conditions, and almost all of us the heavy, life-threatening, and potentially catastrophic rain. So we have two huge issues with this. Obviously the winds with this, but because of the track it's taking to the west, slowly and then swinging to the north, and that gives us days and days of rain. So we're really seeing just horrific rain amounts out of this, along with the winds. Again, I really don't mean that to be scary. I'm just grateful for all you have done to try to prepare for this storm. And we'll get on the flip side of this, right? By the time we get deep into Tuesday and Wednesday morning, we'll turn the corner, we'll recover and bounce back in many spots. Now, I'll be tracking this for the long haul, watching the rain amounts as we work our way into eastern Cuba. It'll be speeding up some here, right? So with that, we're looking at generally 250 millimeters of rain, and a sliver of that trying to creep up toward parts of the Bahamas where the center of it goes. Now the storm surge, very significant, and again, even over toward Black River, high concern over here. If you've been through here, it's very low-lying areas, right? If you're familiar with this area. So with that, we're going to take on water with the surge. Same thing, even if the center's over here, this has a counterclockwise flow, so it just pushes in the water. The storm surge is the abnormal rise in the water. Of course, you have the waves on top of it, which I showed you the waves in the last video. But we're looking at about 2.5 to 4 meters of a surge right along much now of our southern coast. Again, I was expanding this out, much of our southern coast, keeping an eye on Westmoreland. If it shifts any more to the west, I may up the surge here. But either way, we've got the advanced warning with this. Again, these are the areas that we're going to see that water really pushing in. The surge is life-threatening. It is like the ocean coming in. It is the ocean coming in. It's not even like, it is the ocean coming in. So that's why we have to be out of these areas that are in through here. Again, it's not easy to get out of certain spots, but these are the spots in particular. You can put a pause on this if you need to see, watching the Kingston area. Here's the highway that kind of crosses over. You see that as we swing back towards Spanish Town, that water, and you can see just kind of funneling in. That's what we're going to have where we have these brighter colors. Here's Hunter's Village. Then we swing back toward Black River. Again, very low lying where that water could kind of feed in, especially if the center continues to shift a little bit more over toward the west. As we work our way back toward Negril, we will get a bit of a surge overall. It's not going to be as high as some other spots, but again, some of the low-lying areas, Montego Bay North Coast, we're looking at about a meter or so as well. So that's about 1 to 3 feet as we swing back toward Montego Bay. More of the onshore flow at times. We'll be seeing, of course, the coastal flooding. That's without a doubt all across Jamaica. We know that, but the surge, very life-threatening. Now, action mode, Crooked Island really south through the Turks and Caicos and eastern Cuba. We're still protecting ourselves in Haiti, especially the southern peninsula, for the rain, and everything we have, all of the hurricane preps we've talked about through the years, what you would do if a big one is coming in. That's what we're doing now, right? And again, there's no doubt we're helping each other out. It is amazing to see in the comments. It is just very heartwarming to see how much people are helping each other out through this. Now, as we go out, the models all of the models bring this right into Jamaica. Forecast has really come together. I've been doing everything I can to get out the word with you. We do this channel together to get the word out. So thank you. They're moving right over eastern Cuba. Good agreement, southeastern Bahamas, northern Bahamas. This is not coming in. Freeport, New Providence, it's not coming in. Sometimes you see other entities that makes it seem like it's going to be the end of the world everywhere. I'd like to show you where it's not going. It's not going back toward the states and Florida. It's not shooting into the Gulf, Central America. It's not coming into Central America. So this is where it's going to go. Question marks for Bermuda down the road. We'll see as we get down the road. Here's Bermuda. Sometimes the modeling has it south, on top of, or just to the north as we get late into the upcoming week. That's something I'll be watching. This black line is most likely where it's going to go, right over Jamaica, with a dangerous, dangerous hurricane working its way toward Cuba a little bit more quickly, back through the Bahamas. Some tropical storm impacts Turks and Caicos, and then we'll see how close this gets to Bermuda. Bermuda should be weakening somewhat and moving quickly if it does pass by. So these same lines, this is a day out, 2 days out, we're going to see the fluctuations I mentioned. 140 miles per hour. Maybe it goes down to 130. Maybe it goes down to 120. Maybe it goes up to 160. As you hear these fluctuations, remind folks that is not, I don't want to say it's not a big deal, but 120 to 160 it is a powerful, powerful hurricane, and it will fluctuate. So it's not like it's weakening and going to fall apart. It's not like it's going to strengthen forever, but we're going to have those fluctuations. I hope, trust your judgment in understanding that, kind of passing it along to people. We're going to hear different things out there. The forecast is pretty much locked in from everything I'm showing you, and that's why I thank you for getting this information out. Now, here's the modeling on this. Here's the center of this. Again, for tonight, we get those rain bands working in, more rain bands working in with tropical storm conditions back toward parts of Haiti. Still some additional flooding parts of the DR. And then as we move forward, you see here, not much movement. That's the problem. This is tomorrow morning, just filtering in more of the tropical storm conditions throughout much of Jamaica. Not as much western zones. Again, it's kind of that calm before the storm. And then as we go through the day tomorrow, conditions will quickly go downhill as the center of this starts to work in. All of us are getting the catastrophic rain amounts starting to add up through the day. Tropical storm impacts first, and then deep into tomorrow, those hurricane impacts along the coast. And then tomorrow night, we get the hurricane impacts for all of Jamaica. One of the worst hurricanes we're going to have as this continues to move in. There's really no escaping this either way. The center by 4 in the morning, just about pulling on shore, sometime around 4 or 5 in the morning. We'll see exactly where, but all of that red shading, that's the core of it. And again, we'll see how close the core of that gets to Montego Bay and Kingston. All of that moves in. With it, the destructive, the damage we're going to see out of this. And then the center of it, by the time we get into midday Tuesday, just to the north, still impacts with it. It won't be until very late Tuesday that this really starts to move away. So we're looking at about 48 hours from now. I always try to find that end in sight. 48 hours from now, we'll get those improvements in Jamaica. Cuba, though, working its way in as we work our way late into Tuesday. And then as we work our way into Wednesday, sitting on top of the southeastern Bahamas near the Turks and Caicos, we'll see exactly where it goes. Even a little change in what happens here really is a bigger change. Is it a little bit more over here, a little bit more over here? We'll wait and see. But this is by Wednesday, and then pushing out into the Atlantic. And I track storms start to finish for you. I'll be watching Bermuda as well. Will not leave anyone hanging. I do my best to keep everyone covered. Now, looking at the winds, I showed you the zoom down look earlier. Here's kind of the broad look to show you just again how wide this wind field is. This is tonight, tropical storm and near hurricane conditions along the southern and southeast coast of Jamaica. Tropical storm conditions tonight in parts of Haiti. And then you see it. It moves to the west, and then it will move to the north. Why is it going to move to the north? Well, that system in the U.S. is moving by. There are reasons for that. There's a system in the U.S. that will eventually turn it, kind of lift it right up in. So deep into the day tomorrow, again, tomorrow, some of us may be like, where is this storm? While others are obviously getting a lot of it. But then it all moves in tomorrow night with the center moving right across Jamaica. You could see it there. All of us with those hurricane impacts. Some of the impacts will differ depending on where the eye exactly comes in. But all of us, can't stress it enough, the hurricane impacts of a major, powerful hurricane are coming in. Thank you for getting that messaging out there. It's not going anywhere. It is going to be right on top of us. This is Tuesday, and you still see the hurricane winds through midday for many of us in Jamaica. And then late on Tuesday night, that's when we'll see this extreme southeastern Cuba. For our friends in Cuba, as you're letting your family and friends know about this, it's not coming to central or western sections, extreme southeastern sections. And then Wednesday, working its way into the southeastern Bahamas. Not all of the Bahamas, extreme southeastern Bahamas. I'll keep an eye on the central Bahamas, though. And then the Turks and Caicos near hurricane force winds or tropical storm force winds on Wednesday. And then we'll be watching as we get down the road for Bermuda late in the upcoming week. So Jamaica, we are going to see where the core of this comes on shore. Catastrophic impacts with the flooding. It is not language I ever like to use, or I rarely use this language. Maybe it was the last time I did this was maybe with Helene, with what we were going to see in the United States with some of the flooding back toward the Carolinas. But we may get stuck in place again. So as you talk to your loved ones, you know, just let them know that communication may get cut off for a while. Obviously, power is going to go out for weeks, if not longer. We've seen that. Could be a couple months in spots, depending on how this shakes out. I always hope for good news, but I need to just let you know what I'm seeing out of this. The worst weather for Jamaica late Monday into very early Tuesday with that kind of overnight landfall, very early landfall in Jamaica with this system. And then we do get the improvements late in the day on Tuesday and Tuesday night. So tonight, a little bit of a scary night. Tomorrow, a very scary night. I know this community stands with you. We are behind you. Jamaica will get on the other side of this. Cuba watching you, Bahamas, and back toward the Turks and Caicos. Again, I'll put out another update looking at any new information. Anything I see, I'll tweak the numbers. I'll let you know. But we're about to kind of get cut off with some communication in spots. So thank you for getting this information out there. And again, Jamaica, you know my heart is with you as you go through this, and we'll be watching this together. We've got you in this weather community. Please, please be safe.